Hey everybody, it's Sam, and I just wanted to weigh in on the delay that was announced for the Volkswagen diesel scandal that's been going on. So, U.S. District Judge Charles Breyer has told Volkswagen that it had until June 21st to get the final settlement in order, but they were just granted another 7-day extension to June 28th, and owners like me are just frustrated. Simply put, we're tired of waiting, we're tired of wondering, and we've been waiting since September for some sort of resolution, whether it's in the form of the buyback, which is almost guaranteed, or some sort of cash settlement, some incentives, and a lot of owners who are faithful to the brand, if not the diesel engine. We've known as owners the advantages of driving these diesel engines, and we knew the disadvantages. The advantages to driving a diesel engine, which a lot of people don't know about, is they're super fuel efficient for the displacement, as well as the power and the torque, especially at low RPMs in comparison to similar displacement gasoline engines. They're just more usable in a daily driving sense. But the disadvantage has always been the emissions. You have diesel engines from 10 years ago that if you floored it and you got into the higher rev range, it would just shoot out black soot out the tailpipe. And so they've had a reputation for being dirty engines. But with Volkswagen's latest round of the 2.0 common rail diesel engines, turbocharged, direct injected engines, they were touted as being clean and meeting all of the federal regulations and emission regulations that were required. They also upped the power significantly and just updated the engine, and it was great. I want to say about a quarter of Volkswagen sales are TDIs, and so it's been just a great engine. Now, the scandal, if you don't know what happened, is apparently the engineers weren't actually able to get them, the engines I mean, to meet the emissions, so they implemented a cheat code which they programmed into the computer ECU, which is the engine computer, to detect whether it's being tested for emissions. And when it is being tested, it would reduce the power and reduce the emissions to meeting the requirements. Now, how the computer was detecting if it was being tested or not, super clever. Little nefarious, but clever nonetheless. So what the programmers did was they checked to see if the drivetrain powered wheels, which in most cases were front wheel drive, if they were spinning, if they were moving, but the rear tires were not moving, because on a dyno or on this test environment only the powered wheels would be turning, then it would implement this cheat code to lower the power, lower the emissions. But when it's being driven on the road, it would detect that, oh, I'm not being tested, and it would just put out maybe 3 times as much nitrogen emissions. And so what ended up happening was through testing, they found inconsistencies with the emissions and the nitrogen levels. And so with deeper investigation, they found out and uncovered this glitch or this cheat code that was programmed in. And so back in September, news broke out, and Volkswagen took a huge dive. They stopped selling every TDI from a dealer, and all of the owners were left to wonder what's going to happen. Now there's been wild speculation whether it's going to be $5,000, whether or not you have Volkswagen buy your diesel back, or get the fix implemented, whatever that is, which is unclear at the moment. Speculation on what the fixes includes retrofitting a urea injection system like they have in other newer ones and bigger TDI engines, or to possibly implement that cheat code all the time to lower the power and emissions. And so there's just so many things going on, and nobody's actually sure of what's going on. And as an owner myself, I'm just really tired of it, and I'm frustrated, and I would like a resolution as soon as possible. I'm a type of guy who likes to plan ahead, and so when there's unknown variables, yeah, it's just one of my pet peeves, and it bothers me. Now, me and my family have owned Volkswagen TDIs for years now, and we've loved the diesel engines for the low-end power, for just their daily use, the fuel economy especially, and when the 2.0 common rail cars became available at a cheaper price point in the used market, me and my dad both bought one. And so now with this whole Dieselgate scandal going on, we're just not sure what's happening. I'm under the impression if they implement the cheat code all the time and with a lowered fuel economy and power that they're estimating, I wouldn't want to keep it. If they're going to retrofit a urea injection system, I'm going to need to see how often that system needs to be recharged or refilled with the urea, how often, how many miles, and just how inconvenient that's going to be. If the buyback occurs, which it seems almost 100% likely, but if it does occur, how much are they going to buy the cars back for? KBB values have plummeted by 30%, 15%, at the lowest, 15%. At the most, I want to say 40% of values have taken a hit. And so there's been some rumors where they're going to possibly value the cars from before the scandal broke out, or some sort of scaling in that sense. But nobody's sure, and that's really the part that's frustrating. I hope that Volkswagen comes out with something that really just makes everybody satisfied with the result, because quite honestly, with the continuing extensions, it's just making the situation worse, and owners are just getting more and more frustrated with the brand. And so yeah, we'll see what happens, and I just hope it's a good result that satisfies all the customers. So just like and subscribe, comment on my videos. If you're a TDI owner, yeah, just put in the comment section below. What are you going to do? Are you going to keep your car? Are you going to sell it back? Yeah, peace out. I'll see you later. And on that bombshell, good night.